Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is July 5th, 2024, and Jaden Philogene has opted to play in the Premier League. Also, Barcelona want to reach a pre-agreement with Nico Williams on one condition. And finally, both Joaos continue to get it further and further away from staying in Barcelona. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo and I'm bringing you this short live stream to bring you the latest from Barcelona news since I'm currently not at home, so I cannot edit and upload videos. So instead, I'm coming to you live. This is not a podcast, so I'm not going to be addressing the chat section. It's also going to be pretty short. And in fact, I did do a podcast earlier today, so if you haven't seen it, make sure you check it out. Lots of interesting news in that podcast. And I haven't said all of that. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the Kickback. And if you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure you hit the Bet Us. Both links for Kickback and Bet Us are down below in the description. Now let's begin with the news because Jaden Philogene has chosen to continue playing in the Premier League. Now, as you know, Barcelona were interested in signing the young left winger who currently plays at Hull City. In fact, Barcelona had made an offer to Hull City, an official offer of a one-season loan with an option to buy worth around 20 to 23 million euros that would be automatically triggered if Philogene reaches certain metrics, including playing time. But it seems that Philogene has decided to stay in the Premier League instead. Now, Philogene does have interest from other Premier League clubs, including Everton, West Ham, and Ipswich Town. And it seems that he wrote an official letter today confirming his desire to stay in Barcelona. Now, this is what Philogene says. So these are his own words. This is not speculation or rumors. But Philogene says, I chose the Premier League because it is the clearest offer I have. But my dream is still La Liga. Barca is my dream. I hope I can sign for them one day. My idols are Ronaldinho and Neymar. So Philogene saying his dream is to play in Barcelona. He wants to sign for Barcelona. His idols are Neymar and Ronaldinho. But despite that, he wants to continue at the Premier League, which is pretty interesting because if it is his dream, it makes you wonder why would he want to continue the Premier League. But that is the player's decision. So it looks like Barcelona will not be signing Philogene this summer because they were looking to sign him as kind of a rotational player for both Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams in case Barcelona do end up signing the Athletic Club de Bilbao player. Now, in my opinion, it's not really a big loss for Barcelona because Philogene was never a number one priority. It was never the main target of Barcelona. It was seen as someone who can come just as a replacement for Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal. And if the player, dreams of playing in Barcelona but wants to continue in the Premier League, I highly doubt that we will see him in Barcelona in the future. Because after all, the Barcelona train only comes once in a lifetime. And if you don't take advantage of it, well, then it's your loss. Now, speaking of the number one priority of Barcelona, we do have to talk about Nico Williams. Because Barcelona want to reach a pre-agreement with the player. And they do have one condition. Now, Barcelona consider that Nico Williams is an absolute number one priority of the club. They consider that if they don't sign him this summer, it would be a big disaster for Barcelona. Because they think that 58 million euros, which is what the release clause is worth, that it's not a lot for one of the most promising wingers in Europe. And we know that Nico Williams does want to come to Barcelona. However, Barcelona want to reach a pre-agreement with him, and they want to do it after today's match. Now, it seems that Nico Williams does have interest from a lot of other clubs, as expected, given his potential. One of the main clubs interested in him are Chelsea, who are offering him 15 to 60 million euros salary, which is something that Barcelona cannot afford. And therefore, in Barcelona's request or condition to Nico Williams is that if you want to come to Barcelona, you have to accept the lower salary that Barcelona are going to offer because Barcelona are never going to match what Chelsea and other clubs in the Premier League could be matching. Now we're gonna have to wait and see whether Nico Williams agrees to this. In my opinion, I think there's a good chance that he will. We know that Nico Williams wants to come to Barcelona. We know that Nico Williams wants to play with his very close friend Lamine Yamal, amongst others. He's also really good friends with Balde and Kouarsi. So I think that Williams will eventually, or at least there's a good chance that he will eventually accept Barcelona's condition. But of course, we are gonna have to wait and see, because Barcelona will try to reach a pre-agreement with the player after today. They want to seal that pre-agreement and then worry about paying the release clause to Athletic Club de Bilbao, because of course Barcelona still have to close the Nike and the Barca Vision deals before they can even offer money to Athletic Club de Bilbao. Now I am curious to hear what do you guys' thoughts. Do you think Nico Williams will agree to that pre-agreement and agree to a lower salary than what Chelsea are offering him? Again, I think yes, because no disrespect to Chelsea, but playing in Barcelona would mean competing in the Champions League versus, a Chelsea where I think they're in the Europa League. Two different projects. Chelsea, I wouldn't even call it a project, but completely two different scenarios. And, if you're a young player, hungry, thirsty for success, I think the Barcelona project makes a lot more sense. But again, I'm not Nico Williams, so we'll see what the player will decide. Now, more news, because the Joaos continue to get further and further away from Barcelona. Now, as I reported before, Barcelona would like to keep the Joaos for another season on loan only. They're not looking to sign them on a permanent transfer. They're not looking to pay any money. They want just simple loans, no options or obligations to buy. And the two players are not priority. So that's why Barcelona are not looking to fork out a lot of money for them. But as time goes by, it seems that the Joaos are looking less and less likely that they will end up in Barcelona. Now, starting with Joao Felix, as I reported before, Benfica are currently negotiating with Atletico de Madrid with the blessing of the player to try to bring Joao back to Portugal. They had initially offered 20 million euros to Atletico Madrid for 50% of the rights of the player. And now they have upped their offer to 30 million for 50% of the rights of the player. It's being reported that Atletico Madrid won 40 million for 68% of the rights. I don't know, it's a weird number, but the point is that Benfica are very, very interested in the player. They are making a big push to sign Joao Felix. And Joao Felix, even though he prefers to end up in Barcelona, he wouldn't mind going back to Benfica. And now we have another team pushing for Joao Felix, which is Aston Villa, who are reportedly trying to negotiate a season loan with an obligation to buy. And Aston Villa, of course, as you know, next season will be playing in the Champions League, so it wouldn't be a bad destination for Joao Felix either. But the point is that there's these two teams making a big push for the player, and Joao Felix is not going to wait for Barcelona forever, so he could end up in one of those teams before Barcelona could agree to sign him, because Barcelona are waiting until the final days of the market to see if they can end up negotiating a simple loan. But by then, it might be too late, and Joao Felix could end up in a different team, which, as I've said many times before, please do, because I don't want to see Joao back in Barcelona. Now, as far as Joao Cancelo, as we know, Manchester City are not looking to loan the player out again. They want to offload him on a permanent basis. They want around 25 to 30 million euros, which Barcelona are not willing to pay. And it's being reported now that there are two Saudi clubs willing to pay that money, because 25 to 30 million is not a lot of money to those clubs. They can easily go under their sofa cushions and find that in change worth 25 to 30 million euros. But it seems that both Al Ahly and Al Ettifaq are both making a huge push for the player. And again, they're willing to offer the money that Manchester City are asking for, which is something that Barcelona cannot afford. So it seems that both players are getting many clubs, making a big push for them, and not looking likely that they're going to end up waiting until the end of the summer transfer market for Barcelona to sign them with simple loans again, which, again, as I said, please do, because both loans, I think, were not successful ones, and I think that Barcelona should focus on other players rather than the two Joaos. Anyways, that is all the news for this live stream. Again, I did a podcast earlier. If you haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Visca Barça.